Hi, I'm Robert, and today I'm going to take this image of Laguna Beach from here to here, all in Lightroom. I'm going to use the HSL panel to transform the sky and the brush tool to transform the foreground. This was a fun photo shoot I had back in 2014. Two of my friends tagged along with me to Laguna Beach. It's important to check the tide before photographing this beach. If the tide is too high, the entire beach could be underwater. If the tide is too low, the waves won't be reaching these foreground rocks. When editing, I like to start at the bottom of the development panel and work my way up. I double check I'm on the current version. I usually skip over vignetting, click on constrain crop, zoom in on the horizon, and let's rotate this image to make it straight. Next up, as always, remove chromatic aberrations and enable profile corrections. I shot this on a Tokina 11-16 on a crop body Canon 40D. So let's go up to sharpening. I'll do my normal sharpening routine of 100 and applying a mask. Hold down the Alt key to bring up our mask, and let's sharpen everywhere except for the sky. Next up, we're going to skip over split toning and HSL, but we will return here. Let's go to the basic panel now. I'm going to warm this image up just a little bit. Now let's open up this image, bring the highlights down and the shadows up. That's too high in the shadows, so I'm going to back it down until it looks good. Next up, let's set our white point. We still have room to move it to the right. I'm keeping an eye on the histogram. When we clip, I'll back it down. No need to adjust the black point as we're already clipping. So now we have our exposure set and our contrast set. Let's go to the HSL panel and do some work trying to fix this sky. First off, let's darken the colors we see in the sky. Go to luminance. Luminance will darken the colors. And let's go negative on the red, orange, yellow, and magenta. After we darken those colors, let's add some saturation to them. We're going to bring red up, orange, yellow, and magenta. After just a few quick adjustments in the HSL panel, the sky is looking great. Let's continue working on our background. Grab a brush tool, make sure auto mask is enabled, and let's start painting in the cliff and the rocks. Press down O to bring up your overlay. I'm carefully brushing these rocks. We don't need to be super precise because Lightroom will take care of it because we have auto mask on. Press O, let's turn off our overlay. If you need to erase an area, press Alt and hold it down. It turns your brush into an eraser. There's a slight color cast in this area that we just brushed, so let's see if we can fix that using the temperature and tint sliders. I'm going to cool it down a little bit using the temperature. And then I'm going to try and remove some of the magenta shift that I see in the houses. It's a subtle change, but it helps. The reason there was a color cast in this area is because I was using a 3-stop soft edge graduated neutral density filter. The filter I was using wasn't of the highest quality and it created a magenta cast. So on all of my older images, I either need to fix it or just live with it. So we have our sky and background set. Now let's work on our foreground. Let's click on new, get a new brush going. Let's work on these foreground rocks. Again, we're just going to press O for overlay and brush in all of these foreground rocks, including the ones out here in the water. Using auto mask makes it really simple. Let's just press O, turn off our overlay, and let's bring up the texture quite a bit. Increasing the texture on the rocks helps to make them pop and draw your eye to them. Now let's continue working on the foreground. Let's grab a new brush. Let's brush in all of this rushing water. I'm only going to brush in the foreground area and not the midground because I want the eye to be first drawn to the foreground and then to the background. So let's turn off our mask and let's brighten up this area a little bit. So now that we brightened and added texture to our foreground, it's the area of the image that draws your eye in first. When taking this image, I had my tripod placed low, which accentuates the foreground. If you have your tripod set higher, chest level or eye level, the main focus will be on the midground and background. When I'm scouting an area to shoot, I'm looking at my foreground first. After I find a nice foreground, I look at my midground and background. I feel like the foreground is the most important element in the image. What are your favorite composition techniques? Let me know below in the comments. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks.